We all know that marketing is needed for our children's book to succeed, yet most of us absolutely dislike, if not hate it. So in this video, I would like to reframe marketing and look at it from a different light or a different angle, so that hopefully at the end of it, you no longer see it as a burden or a chore, but rather something we can enjoy and experiment with. Hi there, I'm Eevi, an award-winning children's author and ghostwriter over on eevijones.com and the creator of Children's Book University. I create videos specifically for children's authors, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my juicy videos. At the end of last year, I asked everyone in my resource-filled email I send out every Sunday what we would like to see most, and marketing was the topic that was requested the most. If you participated in this poll, thank you so much. This will help so much with this year's videos I am planning to create for you. If you're like me, or like most authors really, you love your children's book that you plan to write or are currently writing or perhaps have already written and published. And we love it because it is our story, right? It's special to us. But what we often don't love is the task of getting it out there into the world. Marketing and promoting usually isn't really our thing, and it's not something we get excited about. Yet, if we wish for little ones to find our book and read our book and be touched and influenced by our book, it is something we will have to do and figure out eventually. Now you may be thinking, but Eevi, why bother? Why is marketing important, and what is marketing anyway? In its simplest form, marketing our beautiful children's book means to bring awareness to it, letting others know about the existence of our book. Competition is fierce, so unless we already have a humongous following or unless we are someone already well known, most people simply won't know about our book, and that's where marketing comes in. Marketing can be done and achieved through many different channels and many different ways, like sharing about it on social media or running ads, whether that's on platforms like Facebook or Instagram or directly over on Amazon. Marketing is creating a book trailer we can share on our website or on social media platforms and on YouTube. It can be participating at local markets or book fairs, or putting together book readings and signings, or setting up school visits. Marketing can also be something like simply talking about our book with our family and friends, or just talking about it in general in any given conversation, be it at the doctor's office or in the grocery store, where we simply mention our book. And finally, marketing can also simply mean to write more books by, for example, creating a series to increase our discoverability and to also optimize our book, be it through the strategic use of a keyword-heavy title or subtitle, or be it through the optimizing of our sales page over on Amazon. Marketing our book or sharing about our book can come in so many different shapes and sizes. I have a separate video on so many of these different topics I just mentioned, so I made sure to share a few of them in the description below. And you can also simply go to my marketing specific playlist here on YouTube as well. Now, whether we like it or not, marketing is part of being an author. Oftentimes, we think of marketing as a separate thing. And so that's why most aspiring authors do not think of this marketing aspect until they are about to publish their book. In fact, most don't think about it until after they have already hit the publish button. But if you've read my book, How to Self-Publish a Children's Book, or have watched some of my other videos, you may already know that I am such a big advocate of keeping the marketing aspect in mind from the very beginning, even before we start writing our story. So for example, in my video, Creating a Built-in Audience, I talk about how having a specific purpose for our children's book will always make it so much easier to promote and market our children's book once we publish it. That's a really good and important one, so I made sure to share it in the description below, because it's never too late to tweak our story just a tiny bit to make the marketing of it later on much, much easier. Now, if we know that marketing our book is so important, why then do most of us hate it so much? I believe there are 4 main reasons why so many authors dislike this part of the book process. So let's take a look at each and what we can do to make it much easier for ourselves. The first reason why so many of us dislike the marketing aspect is because many of us feel that we simply do not have the time to promote our book. That's something I hear all the time, and oftentimes that's because we believe that promoting our book takes a lot of time, either because we believe we have to be present on all social media platforms, for example, or because we believe we have to post all the time. But oftentimes, that's simply not true. In my social media video series, for example, that I created not too long ago, I share very doable little things we can do to help us with just that. And if we sprinkle in the different marketing techniques that are available to us that I'm sharing in my book and here on my YouTube channel, if we sprinkle them throughout the creation of our book, then it's no longer something we only focus on after our book is already published. Instead, it's something we can plan and incorporate along the way so that it's no longer overwhelming and will no longer be this big discouraging chore on our never-ending to-do list. The second main reason why so many of us dislike the marketing of our beautiful book is because we don't like talking about ourselves. Perhaps we feel awkward sharing our book with friends and family, or maybe we feel talking about our book is just a salesy thing to do, or maybe we simply don't like standing in the spotlight and we don't like how we look in pictures or in videos. But here I would like to encourage you to think of this. What was it that made you write your book in the first place? Why did you write this book? Most children's authors write their children's book for a very specific reason. Maybe you feel your story is needed because it addresses an issue that hasn't been covered before. Or maybe you feel your story offers a very unique perspective or way of thinking. Or maybe it teaches something in a very unique way. So knowing that our book may help little ones overcome their fears, feel less alone, feel more seen, or feel more understood, who are we to keep our book from those it could help the most? So every time I feel awkward about sharing my stories, I remind myself that it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about whom I'm helping with my book. And looking at it from that perspective, by taking the focus off of myself, I see that sharing about my book serves a bigger, much bigger purpose. And that alone makes such a big difference. The third main reason why so many of us dislike the marketing of our book is that we feel like it's too costly. Now, yes, it can be, mainly if we are talking about paid ads and paid promotions. But it doesn't have to be. Sharing about our book on social media is free. Talking about our book with our friends and family, it's free. Setting up a launch team for our first couple of reviews is free. Optimizing our book, as I share in many of my videos, is also absolutely free. So saying or believing that we can't promote our book because it's too expensive simply isn't fair to us and our book. We are doing ourselves a disservice if we keep ourselves from marketing our book because we believe it is too costly, because it doesn't have to be. And finally, the fourth main reason why so many of us dislike the marketing of our book is because we may have tried different things but then simply gave up because we feel like we have failed or aren't good at the whole marketing thing. Now consider this. When it comes to marketing, there is no failure. We simply learn and we gather data on what works and what doesn't that we can then use to improve and optimize our strategies. Now, the trouble is that most of us who are asking for advice believe that there is just one single magic secret marketing strategy that, when discovered, will work for all of us all the time. But the truth is that there is no such magic strategy that will work for all of us. What worked for one author or book may not work for another. Instead, we will have to figure out what works best for us and for our book. We never finish learning about marketing because we can always improve our strategy. We can always tweak and modify. Plus, things change all the time because people and how they consume things and information changes all the time as well. So marketing our book is a continuous journey, and it's an exciting one because we never know what we may discover. To me, marketing our beautiful children's book successfully is very much about our mindset. Marketing our book will instantly become easier if we remember that it is all about sharing our book with those who need it the most. And seeing or reframing it as sharing instead of marketing feels a lot less intimidating and a lot more natural. In the end, we don't have to share our book, just like we didn't have to write it, right? But why did we write it? Remembering our why will help so much with this mindset shift, and we didn't have to write this book. Instead, we got to write it. We were lucky enough that we got to write it, and so we don't have to share our book. Instead, we get to share our book. When it comes to marketing of our book, it's no longer about us, but about little ones that get to read our stories. We have worked so very hard on the creation of our beautiful children's book. We simply own it to ourselves and to our book to now share it with the world. And the only way we can do so is by sharing it, by marketing it and promoting it. So instead of seeing the marketing of our book as a chore, how about we begin seeing it as a privilege? Because how lucky are we that we got to write it in the first place? I so hope you found this video helpful in helping you reframe the marketing aspect of your beautiful children's book. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really encourages me to keep making free videos for you just like this one. Here's to discovering that sharing our book can and should be fun. Bye!